In this program 5-18, I'm going to show you how to use an input file. The hardest part about input files is creating the input file correctly and making sure it's in the right location for your project to find it. So I'm going to create an input file that contains 3 names, and the important thing is, before I do that, I'm going to go out here, and the project that I'm working on, let me make this a little bigger so you can see it, is called File Practice, and it's in a folder called File Practice on my desktop. And here's my source file, here's my File Practice. Okay, wherever this project is located is where your input file has to be located as well in order for the program to work. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create an input file. I'm going to say File, New File, and I'm going to choose a text file. And then down here I have to click on Open. It'll create a new tab for me. I'm just going to put 3 names in here. Okay, and now I'm going to save this. And you'll notice by default it's likely to go where your project is, but you have to make sure that's where it's going. Okay, so I'm going to call this Friends, and I'm just going to let it default to the extension TXT. So you can see the name of my file. I'm going to go back into my folder, and you're going to see here's the project and here's the text file. Very important that they're in the same location. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, and now let's talk about the code. Again, we need to include the FStream library. That's what we need for anything with input and output files. I'm going to declare an input file stream object or variable. IFStream is the data type, that means input file stream, and input file is just a variable name that I have chosen. You can call this variable whatever you want. Just like with our output files, we need to use an open function to associate this variable name, input file, with this file name that's now stored on our desktop in a folder named Files Practice. Okay. Once we have opened it up and we've done that association, we can use input file with the input operator to pull information in from the file. So this will display reading data from the file. This will pull in the first name, right? So that should pull in Bob, and then it should display Bob to the screen. This will pull in the next name, Carol, and then display Carol to the screen, and then this should pull in the final name from our input file, Sue, and this will display Sue. And then lastly, we have to close our file just like we did with the output file. So I'm going to run this program. And here's what it'll display, Bob, Carol, Sue. It's pulling the information from the file. So again, make sure that your file name is what you think it is, right? Make sure that your file is located in the same folder as your project file. Whatever your project file's name is, you have to find that folder and make sure that it's in that correct location. You can also create text files with Notepad. I'm not a big fan of this because sometimes students end up getting an input file, let's say friends.txt, that has another extension on there like friends.txt.txt, and I find when students create their text files within the compiler, they're a little bit more successful.